Well, greetings from Bishop Fenwick, and welcome to a special edition of Tuesdays with Tom. If you're new to Bishop Fenwick this year, the students and families of the class of 2025, you'll be getting these weekly vlogs once the school year starts. So this is a special summer edition. I'm going to begin with a little inspiration, and I'm going to end with a little inspiration, and in between, we have to talk about COVID. So here we go. This day in 2001, premiered nationwide the movie The Princess Diaries. Remember that? Anne Hathaway, Julie Andrews. I think like the folks at the Hallmark Channel took that pilot and spawned like a dozen Christmas movies with it. But in any event, and do you remember the city? Like she becomes the queen or the princess of something. Oh, I'll come back to that. So all students are a little nervous about starting a school year. Maybe feeling a little awkward about, anything from their appearance to their ability. And Anne Hathaway's character says, just in case I wasn't enough of a freak already, let's add a tiara. Well, no tiaras, but everybody might feel a little uneasy as we begin the school year. That's totally natural. The city, by the way, in which she becomes queen, Genovia. Did you remember that? One of the advisors, one of the mentors in her life says to her, from now on, you will be traveling the road between who you think you are and who you can be. The road between who you think you are and who you can be. The key is to allow yourself to make the journey. The key is to allow yourself to make the journey. And so let's encourage our sons and daughters, our students, to make that journey this year. That's a beautiful thing about being in a school. Each September is a new beginning, a clean slate, a fresh opportunity to become freely and fully who God wants you to be. So, let's talk a little bit about COVID too. So, much has changed in the span of the recent months, and of course, much remains the same. What remains the same? Get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. We hear that message from all the healthcare professionals and infectious disease experts. We know that the vaccines are safe, that they're effective, and that they are in fact available. By age at least, everybody in our Bishop Fenwick community is able to receive a vaccine. And Fenwick, while it can't require and won't require individuals to get vaccines, strongly encourages everyone, students, faculty, and staff, to get a vaccine. We really recommend it for the health and safety and well-being of our entire community. Now, this is a personal choice to get vaccinated. And I want you to know that we respect that. You know, the church teaches that parents are the primary educators of their children, and we operate in partnership with you. So it's your choice. We respect that and we affirm that and we understand that. And we also understand that it's a personal choice that affects our entire community. It's a personal choice that affects our entire community. In short, the more vaccinations we have, the less transmission we have. And the less transmission we have, the greater chance we will have for having normal school, for opening right after Labor Day weekend with everybody here in person in the ways that we all want. Now that's a real challenge, isn't it? Especially given so much that is changing today. What has changed the most is the Delta variant. It's the most prevalent strand of COVID-19 in the country right now. It's certainly more contagious, say the experts, than the other versions of COVID-19. And among unvaccinated individuals, the risks for significant symptoms or even severe hospitalization or worse are cause for real concern. And there are, as we know, breakthrough cases among vaccinated individuals who have contracted the virus and who may, because they carry a high dose of it, even though they're not affected by it, transmit that virus to others. What is Fenwick's policy? What is Fenwick's decision? I'm not sharing that today because we haven't come up with it. Because by the time I started thinking about this vlog last week and now, which is Tuesday, August 3rd, it's changed 10 times. Why? Well, additional counties in the Commonwealth, as of yesterday, in fact, Essex and Middlesex, have become counties that are classified as substantial risk. The CDC, as you know, last week came out and is recommending, not requiring, recommending masks universally, vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals. The Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed on Friday stopped short of requiring masks for students and teachers in schools who are vaccinated. But they gave us some other guidance. And again, no rules per se. And there's also what the Archdiocese informs us and what the local Board of Health tells us. So, to sum, there are questions that remain. The most pressing of which, of course, will we be wearing masks? But there are others as well. What about larger meetings and community gatherings? What about requirements for contact tracing should someone contract the disease here at Fenwick? What, if any, are the requirements for social distancing? And what specific recommendations are there for having lunch or singing inside or playing sports? All of this is going to be unfolding in the coming weeks, and that's why we're waiting to really make any formal decisions or concrete recommendations about school until we see more of this play out. So, what should we be prepared for? And I thank you for your patience in listening to this lengthy vlog. What should we be prepared for? First, if masks are not required for people who are vaccinated, but they're required for others who are not vaccinated, and others in addition to that may choose to wear a mask, we all ought to recognize right here, right now, that there are going to be no assumptions made about people who wear masks. There's no stigmatizing, there's no labeling. If people wear masks, they wear masks. This is a community where every individual is accepted and affirmed, and that will never change. 2, we probably ought to be prepared to be wearing masks, even though I can tell you, I don't want that. I'm going to work very hard, in fact, so that we don't have to get to that place, which is why getting vaccinated is important. But we ought to be prepared for it as a possibility. Thirdly, we will be here in person. Absolutely. We will be at Fenwick live. Not remote, not virtual, not with cameras in the classrooms. We're going to be here together. That's the most important thing. So, I'm going to conclude this lengthy message by sharing with you that later this week, you will be receiving a significant packet in the mail. It's going to have all kinds of documents from personal information about you and your family so that we have emergency contact info and all the rest, to words of wisdom from Cecilia Marquez, our principal, and Dave Dugan, our dean of students, and all the other forms that you need to begin a really highly successful academic year here at Fenwick. I'll also be introducing some incredible new members of our faculty and staff. That's going to come to you later this week, probably goes out in the mail Thursday morning. As you look ahead to this school year, today's gospel reading is a beautiful passage of Jesus in the midst of a storm, the disciples on a boat, and he's walking on the water, and Peter goes, that's Jesus. That's Jesus. And Jesus says, yeah, it is. And Peter says, well, if it's you, command me to walk on the water. And Jesus says, come. And Peter begins to walk on the water. And then he sees the seas and feels the wind, and he starts to sink. And Jesus extends his hand and says, courage, take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. Trust. I think that's what we need this year. A little bit of courage, well, because there are some struggles ahead. And a little bit of trust, because we are all in this together as part of our Fenwick family, and we're going to make it, and it's going to be awesome. So we look forward to seeing you soon. I hope you enjoy the packet when you receive it, and always feel free to reach out with any questions or concerns. Blessings on your day.